Hey, as always, this is another intermittent video. So thanks for your patience on all of this, but thought that I would hopefully post a couple here in the next couple of days. This one actually, usually I pull from comments or suggestions, and actually, this one I decided was an interesting one for me. And it is the idea of an INTJ, excuse me, cat hair, on the idea of love and being in love, how you become in love, and what love looks like to an INTJ female. Now, obviously, all of this being said, everyone is different, and we can go on with all of that. But the fact is that this is experiential. So, uh, from my perspective, INTJs, they're often being considered harsh or cold, or it takes forever before they ever come to like feeling anything. And if they do, they're shut off and all of that type of thing. And for me personally, that is not the case when it comes to when you're actually in love. Now, I personally feel that when you feel love for another person, every experience is absolutely dependent on the other person that is part of that situation. So for me, love looks different for each different person that I've felt love for. And however, for the most part, the one thing that gets me to a feeling of love, sorry, my cat is underneath me, is that need for interesting dialogue, interesting communication, rapport, um, the value of their intelligence. Okay, so I'm just going to show you my cat because she is driving me crazy. This is Dolly. She was a rescue that was underneath or in a ditch, actually. Her sister's name was Reba, but we only adopted Dolly because we didn't have a big enough space. So Dolly quit crying, okay? Anyways, and yes, I like the Chicago Blackhawks, even though we suck right now. Anyways, when it comes to love, for me personally, I absolutely have to be uh, intellectually attracted to that person. If there is no intellectual attraction, you cannot put lipstick on that pig enough. Like, it could be the most gorgeous guy in the world for me because I'm hetero, but the idea of like wanting someone that is not stimulating mentally, it's just not there. And sometimes that gets you in trouble because you will start, if you think there's enough like intellectual stimulation there, but then they have like a head case situation, you might end up in trying to solve puzzles that aren't necessarily needed to be solved, and you can end up in a lot of unnecessary issues. However, for myself at least, I do not find that love takes forever, and it takes this slow opening up of myself. And I'm a fairly closed off person when it comes to certain things. But when certain people come into your life and they're interesting and engaging and they have whatever factor, I mean, everyone that knows me laughs at the people that I think are attractive. So again, it comes down to the weird chemistry that goes along with it. But I find that there is by no means something that has to be contrived by what our INTJ uh, mindset is. All that being said, I am older. When I was younger, it was maybe a bit more superficial, blended in. Um, but when you're older, at least for me, if I looking back, because I've had significant relationships, marriages, that type of thing, um, the interest is in love is to explore what like symbiotic relationship can come out of it. The curiosity that comes out of what two people and two totally different mindsets can bring together, especially if they're both attracted to each other through intellect. And the intellect, I'll have to say, also is like for myself, has to be tied by drive. And I'm not sure if all INTJs have that same thing, but there has to be some sort of internal pull from the other side about where they want to go. And it doesn't have, like, for me personally, I don't like someone telling me my agenda. I don't like being told what to do at all. I don't like anything that is constraining, but I love open mindsets. So the other person, if they have that personality where they're intelligent and they are open to just the most randomest ideas and looking at ways to explore those to see where life can go, that is one of the most exciting and passionate things for me personally regarding love. Now, this doesn't sound very sexy. I can't, a lot of people, again, INTJs aren't for everyone, but that to me is so demonstrative, I guess, of what that person's internal workings are. And it makes that person more attractive. And yeah, that's the attractive thing. But when it comes to love, the love comes from the intuition side. So when you see all these things coming together and you're noticing them, and if you notice them faster and they're clicking quicker, for myself, I will quickly do a scan to make sure that this is not... Actually, you know what? After being around the game long enough, you notice pretty quickly if the person is a player. The one thing I do not notice very well, and I definitely need to work on, is emotionally unavailable people. And that's a tough one. I have no answers for it. But when love has been decided or noticed within me, at least, it comes on and it's there. And once it's there, that's it. I'm committed. I'm clear. I am, not changing anything about myself. However, I am there to work together as a team and see where something goes and be totally on that team. And that's it. I don't even notice other people around or see other opportunities or anything like that, because I find that person and our meshing together of our shared ideas so much more attractive than even noticing another person. And I mean, obviously, if someone walks by, you can appreciate them, but it's not something that is where like jealousy plays in. So I guess on that front too, love for me is not jealous, because to be honest, I'm so focused internally on what my mutual goals are with my partner that, especially when we're both very committed, I want to make sure that we are achieving everything that we can. And again, INTJ females, maybe not for everyone, at least this person isn't. But the ability to have that spark, that passionate, shared growth together with someone is so much more attractive when it comes to love. And love is, it's just there. It doesn't change. It doesn't get pulled away where all of a sudden it's just, screw you, I'm done. Even with relationships that have gone bad, you still have that care because you've let that person in and decided that person is going to be part of your story. Because a lot of us, we've all gone on lots of, social dating and that type of thing. And you won't, for me personally, again, I wouldn't remember half of those exchanges to the detail that I would have remembered with someone that I ended up investing with, because I'm already taking those mental pictures that are building that inner intuition leading towards that feeling of love. And those pieces are snapshots that get put into it. And it's not rare. As long as you keep yourself open to that type of feeling. I am as good as anyone with but easily not being emotive or wanting that kind of serious thing that comes along with love. But even for me as an INTJ, it's always something that just comes in, and you can't fix what happens. And that's kind of an interesting thing, because especially as we're, building our inner FI, which is really weak for us, we don't know what that is. And that's curious and makes it even more sparkly. And so if we just acknowledge it, that's when we get those interesting adventures that come with having love. Now, I have to say, one thing that people bring up is how our INTJ is passionate when it comes to relationships. And I have to say, for me, myself, I definitely switch when I have a partner. I go, if I truly love that person, I actually go from being, I don't want to be touched, I don't want to be talked to I want to hold their hand. I'm actively holding their hand. I actively will go and snuggle with them after being by myself for 2 hours. I want to hear how their day is. I want to know all the gross stuff that's going on. I want to be there and help them and hope. One thing I have to say is that INTJs are self-sufficient for the most part. However, not enough people stand up for us. And it sounds weird, but we will literally go and fall definitely on a sword for the people that we've allowed to feel love for, or have actually subconsciously and consciously let into our lives, love-wise. We will do everything to protect them. And I feel that a lot of times that is the one thing that doesn't get reciprocated for us. It's almost oh, she's got it covered, or he's got it covered. And those are the times when We just want someone to stand up for us and say, hey, this wasn't okay on my behalf or our behalf. And so that would really add to the love piece. But for the most part, the love, we don't have enough of it in our world anymore. And I think that INTJs, I'm going to do a video on this later, but INTJs have an opportunity to potentially take the dating world to a different level, because we can use the tools in our toolkit to bridge a lot with feelers where they might be downtrodden or internalize a lot of the bad stuff that's happened, because all of us have had it. But they're with love, when you get to experience it, when you allow yourself to experience it, especially when you realize what love is for yourself and be open to it, it's an exciting thing. And that is basically the video. So hope you like the subject. As always, I want to hear your comments, and always please provide any sort of topics that you want to cover. And as you know, I take forever to go through them, but also, as you know, I do read them and I do pull them up out of nowhere. So I take these things seriously. Thank you so much, and hopefully I'll get another one off here in the next little bit. Take care.